What if the body's greatest healer is not medicine, but belief, emotion, and love? Ibn Arabi taught, "The body mirrors the soul." Stay until the end. You'll discover the 3 hidden secrets that awaken healing within. Have you ever noticed your body sending you a sign? When was the last time you truly listened to your body? Not just when pain became unbearable, but in the small whispers long before. Think of the evenings you forced yourself to keep working when your eyes blurred and your head grew heavy. Think of the times you pushed through hunger with endless coffee, or silenced your stomach's protests with whatever was quickest at hand. We treat these signals as inconveniences, but what if they are actually a language the body has been speaking to you all along? Ibn Arabi taught that the body is not a cage for the soul, but its mirror and companion. If the mirror is clouded, the reflection will not be clear. If the companion is ignored, the journey will grow heavy. Every symptom, every ache, every sudden burst of tiredness is not random. It is an invitation, a sign, a whisper from within. Consider the way a fever rises. At first, you feel only a slight chill, maybe a faint ache behind the eyes. You ignore it, carry on. But the body insists. It heats, it slows you, it forces you into bed. What is this if not a form of speech? Your body saying, "Stop, rest, let me heal." And still, how often do we reach for the pill, the quick relief, instead of asking, "What are you trying to tell me?" We live in a world that numbs signs, tablets for pain, noise for silence, distraction for discomfort. But the Sufi masters reminded us that silence is not absence. It is a doorway. When you sit in silence with your own body, you begin to hear what words never carried. A tight chest is not only stress, it is the echo of fears unspoken. A restless stomach is not only indigestion, it is the heaviness of thoughts swallowed too quickly. Sleepless nights are not only biology, they are the soul shaking the mirror, pleading for you to pause. Nothing is random. Every sign is an invitation. Think for a moment, why does your chest tighten when you argue? Why does your head pound when you feel ashamed? Why does your back stiffen when you feel unappreciated? These are not accidents. The soul speaks through the body, and the body answers through sensation. Ibn Arabi said that to neglect this dialogue is to walk blindly through a house full of messages, each one placed by the divine for your growth. Perhaps you have noticed how exhaustion feels different when it comes from meaningful work versus when it comes from endless distraction. In one, the body says, "Rest, and I will renew you." In the other, it says, "Something here is draining your spirit." Both are forms of guidance. Both are signs that, if honored, can lead you back to balance. But ignored, they grow louder, harsher, until what was once a whisper becomes an illness that can no longer be denied. So ask yourself, what is my body saying to me right now? Not yesterday, not tomorrow, this very moment. What message lies in the ache in your shoulders, the tightness of your jaw, the weight in your chest? Have you silenced it with busyness? Have you numbed it with noise? Or are you willing at last to sit quietly and listen? The body is like a faithful friend who never abandons you. Even when neglected, it continues to serve, breathing for you, beating for you, carrying you forward. But every friend longs to be heard. And when you listen, when you honor the signals instead of drowning them, something remarkable happens. The body begins to soften, to trust, to heal. This is the first step on the path of inner healing, listening. Listening not as a physician with tools, but as a friend with presence, listening with respect, with patience, with humility. For as Ibn Arabi reminds us, signs are everywhere, but only the attentive heart receives them. And so, before we uncover the first secret of healing, pause here. Breathe deeply. Ask yourself gently, what is my body trying to tell me? The answer may not come at once, but know this, the very act of listening is already the beginning of healing. The first secret is belief. Not belief as an abstract idea, but belief as the silent decree you make each day about yourself. The truth is, your body listens to the thoughts you repeat more closely than to the medicines you take. Every phrase you hold inside, whether despair or hope, becomes a command written into your cells. Have you noticed how two people can face the same illness yet walk away with different destinies? One crumbles quickly, repeating, "I will never heal, my life is over." The other, though shaken, whispers, "I am healing, I am whole, my body will remember its strength." And somehow, against expectation, the second begins to recover. What separates them? The illness is the same, but the decree within is different. One breathes despair into their blood, while the other breathes faith. Ibn Arabi taught that the soul shapes reality not only through action, but through the unseen current of belief. What you believe about yourself is not just stored in your mind. It flows into your nerves, your breath, your heartbeat. If you rise each morning convinced you are weak, your body bends under that weight. If you wake whispering strength, your body straightens to meet it. Nothing is random. Every sign is an invitation, even the thoughts you choose to repeat. Think of a garden. Two seeds are planted in the same soil, given the same water, the same light. Yet one seedling grows strong while the other withers. What is unseen makes the difference. The health within the seed itself. Your body is the soil, but your belief is the seed. A seed of despair will poison the earth around it. A seed of hope will draw life from even the driest ground. Which seed are you planting daily within yourself? Reflect for a moment. What words are you saying to yourself without realizing? When pain lingers, do you declare, "This will never leave me"? When fatigue arrives, do you sigh, "I am broken, I can't go on"? Or do you say, "This too is passing, my strength is returning, my breath is carrying life back into me"? Every phrase becomes a prayer. Every thought becomes medicine or poison. The saints understood this long before science tried to explain it. They observed that despair closed the heart, tightened the chest, slowed the blood. They observed that hope lifted the body, opened the lungs, softened the face. Ibn Arabi called this the mirror of the real, the way the inner world reflects into the outer form. Your body is not deaf. It listens to your mind's every whisper and responds with either sickness or strength. So ask yourself, what decree have I been repeating? What prophecy have I written into my body without noticing? Perhaps the heaviness you carry is not only the weight of illness, but the echo of your own words pressing down upon you. And perhaps the first medicine you need is not from outside, but from within. You can begin today with a simple practice. Each morning, place your hand on your chest, close your eyes, and whisper 3 times, "I am healing, I am whole. Light flows through me." Do not rush. Say it gently, as if speaking to a child. At first, your mind may resist, saying, "This is not true." But the body listens not only to truth, but to repetition. Just as the seed grows with daily water, belief grows with daily words. Over time, you will feel the difference. Your breath deepens, your chest loosens, your body responds like a friend finally being heard. Remember, despair weakens the spirit, but hope feeds it. Fear clouds the heart, but trust clears it. What you believe is not a small matter. It is the foundation of all healing. Without belief, even the best medicine may falter. With belief, even small remedies can flourish. This is the first secret. Belief shapes healing, and once you honor it, the path begins to open. But belief alone is not enough. For a seed to grow, the soil must also be nourished, and that nourishment lies in the second secret, the medicine of emotion. The second secret is emotion. If belief is the seed, then emotion is the water that allows it to grow. A seed without water will dry, no matter how strong it is. In the same way, belief without emotion remains hollow, unable to reach the roots of the body. Healing begins when thought and feeling move together as one. Think of the times when sorrow weighed on your chest until it was hard to breathe, or the way fear twists your stomach into knots, or how anger leaves your back stiff and your jaw tight for hours after the argument has ended. These are not coincidences. Emotions do not live only in the mind, they descend into the body, shaping it from within. Ibn Arabi said that every feeling is a current, sometimes flowing freely like a river, sometimes blocked by stones of resistance. When the current flows, health rises. When it is blocked, illness begins. Have you seen someone who carried regret for years? Their face grows heavy, their shoulders curve inward, their voice weakens, and then, the moment they forgive, even in tears, the body lifts, their chest opens, their skin glows again. What changed? The diet? The medicine? The exercise? No, it was the release of emotion. Forgiveness loosened the stones that blocked the current. The body, freed from holding what was never meant to be carried, began to heal itself. Ask yourself, what emotions still live in my body right now? Which sorrows linger in the chest? Which regrets twist silently in the stomach? Which unspoken fears have stiffened the muscles of my back? You may not say them aloud, but your body knows. Your body remembers. Every cell records what the heart has not released. The Sufis remind us that emotions are not enemies to suppress, but messengers to honor. Fear says, there is something I need to prepare for. Anger says, there is something I must protect. Grief says, there is something I must release. But when we deny these voices, they do not disappear. They turn inward, and the body carries them until it bends under their weight. So how do you begin to heal through emotion? The path is simple, but it requires honesty. Each day, take a few moments of silence. Place your hand on the place where you feel the strongest tension. Perhaps your chest, perhaps your stomach, perhaps your back. Breathe and ask softly, what am I holding here? At first, nothing may come, but if you wait, a memory, a word, or an unspoken feeling may rise. Do not run from it. Do not judge it. Simply acknowledge it. And then, in prayer or remembrance, release it. Say, I hear you, I honor you, I let you go. This small act can be medicine more powerful than you know. Many illnesses are not born from germs alone, but from years of unspoken grief, anger, and fear buried in the body. When you free the body of these weights, space for healing opens again. Ibn Arabi reminds us that the heart is the meeting place of the divine and the human. If the heart is clouded by trapped emotions, the divine light struggles to enter. But when the heart is clear, light floods the body, and the current of life moves freely once more. Have you noticed how someone suffering greatly can still smile and recover, while another, burdened by small grief, seems to collapse? The difference lies not in the event, but in the way emotion is carried. To feel, to express, to release, this is medicine. To deny, to bury, to harden, this is poison. So ask yourself again, which emotion has hardened in me? Which feeling is still unspoken? Am I willing to let it rise? To weep if I must? To forgive if I must? To finally breathe again? This is the second secret. Emotion is medicine. Belief without emotion is dry, but when belief is watered by feeling, the body begins to bloom. Yet even belief and emotion together are not enough. For a garden to thrive, it must also be nurtured with love. And this leads us to the third secret, the healing power of self-love. The third secret is self-love. Belief is the seed, emotion is the water, but without care and love, even the healthiest seedling will wither. Self-love is the sunlight of healing, the gentle warmth that allows everything else to flourish. Without it, belief dries. Emotions turn bitter, and the body begins to collapse under neglect. Think of how often you have pushed yourself when exhausted, saying, "Just one more hour, I cannot stop now." Or the times you criticize your own body, staring into the mirror with harsh words, forgetting how faithfully it has carried you. We live in a culture that confuses self-love with selfishness. But in truth, self-love is not indulgence. It is responsibility. It is the act of honoring the body as the trust God has placed in your care. Ibn Arabi taught that the body is not an enemy, but a companion. If you walk with it gently, it will serve you faithfully. If you abuse it, silence it, or despise it, the journey becomes heavy. Healing begins when you stop treating your body as a burden and start treating it as a friend. Ask yourself, when was the last time I thanked my body for all it has carried? Imagine speaking to your heart as you would to a loyal friend. Thank you for beating without pause since the moment I was born. Or whispering to your eyes, thank you for showing me beauty each day, even when I was too distracted to notice. Or to your feet, thank you for carrying me across every distance, even when I never paused to rest you. At first, this may feel unusual, but gratitude is food for the soul, and the body hears it. It softens, it responds, it begins to heal. Self-love is not only gratitude, it is also promises. Make 3 promises to your body. When you are tired, I will let you rest. When you are silent, I will listen. I will love you not with harsh demands, but with gentle care. Such simple vows can change the way you live. When you honor them, the body begins to trust you again. The inner dialogue shifts from resistance to cooperation, from heaviness to flow. But why does self-love hold such power? Because shame, anger, and neglect act like shadows, blocking the inner light. When you shame your body, you tell it you are unworthy. And the body responds with weakness, fatigue, illness. When you love your body, you tell it you are sacred. And the body responds with energy, resilience, and renewal. Nothing is random. Every sign is an invitation. Even the way your body reacts to how you treat it. Reflect for a moment. How often do you ignore hunger until it becomes pain? How often do you silence exhaustion with more work, more noise, more distraction? How often do you deny yourself simple kindness, telling yourself you do not deserve it? These habits are not small. They shape your health as much as food and medicine. Self-love is not luxury. It is survival. Think again of a plant on your windowsill. You may water it daily, but if you never place it in the sun, will it grow strong? In the same way, you may feed your body with food and remedies, but if you do not give it the sunlight of love, silence, and respect, it begins to wither. Healing is not just biology. It is relationship. Your relationship with your own form. So I ask you, what would change if, from today, you chose to treat your body as a sacred gift rather than a flawed machine? What if every morning, before rushing into the noise of the world, you paused just to say, "Thank you, I am with you, I will care for you"? This is the third secret. Self-love restores balance. With belief, emotion, and self-love joined together, the garden of healing is complete. But what happens when all three secrets unite? The inner current awakens and healing begins to flow through every part of your being. When belief, emotion, and self-love come together, something remarkable begins to happen. It is as if a hidden river inside you starts to flow again. This river has always been there, quietly sustaining you, carrying life into every cell. But when fear, anger, grief, and neglect pile upon it like stones, the current slows, weakens, and sometimes even disappears from your awareness. Healing begins the moment those stones are lifted and the inner current is allowed to move freely once more. Ibn Arabi taught that each breath is more than air. It carries a secret of the real. With every inhale, you draw in more than oxygen. You draw in life itself, a subtle energy that spreads through your blood, your nerves, your very bones. And with every exhale, you release what is heavy, what is stagnant, what no longer belongs within you. If you have ever felt relief simply by sighing deeply, you have already touched the edge of this current. But how do we awaken it fully? The answer is simpler than most expect. Silence. Just 6 minutes of stillness each day can be a doorway. Sit, close your eyes, breathe naturally. Do not force your thoughts. Do not chase them away. Simply observe. Where does your breath travel easily? Where does it hesitate? Does your chest expand fully, or does it feel tight? Does your stomach soften, or does it resist? These small observations are not meaningless. They are maps. They show you where the current is flowing and where stones still lie in its path. Perhaps you notice heaviness in the chest. That heaviness may be grief, an old sorrow never spoken. Perhaps your back feels stiff. That stiffness may be anger long held and never released. Perhaps your stomach churns. That churning may be fear, twisting silently without words. In silence, you begin to see the language of the body as a river of emotion and memory, and in that awareness, the first stones begin to shift. Have you not noticed how sorrow weighs on the chest, how fear knots the stomach, how stress hardens the back? Feelings do not vanish into thin air. They settle in the body like stones in a stream. Left untouched, they gather until the water no longer flows. But in silence, with breath and remembrance, you shine a light upon them. You send warmth, you send love, and slowly the stones begin to move. Try this now in your mind. Breathe in gently, and with your inhale, imagine drawing light into the place of tension. Hold it for a moment, then exhale, and picture that heaviness leaving with your breath. It may not vanish instantly, but even one stone shifting allows the current to move a little more freely. And once the current moves, the body begins to heal. not from outside, but from within. The saints often said that the greatest healing does not come from herbs or medicine alone, but from returning the flow of life's current. Medicine may assist, but without the current, it struggles to work. With the current, even small remedies become powerful. This is why Ibn Arabi reminded us, when the real is present, every atom shines. When the inner light flows, even fatigue transforms into energy, even weakness into strength. So I ask you, what stones are you still carrying? Which emotions, which regrets, which fears lie across your inner river? Are you willing to sit in silence and begin removing them one breath at a time? When you do, you will notice the shift. Headaches ease, the stomach grows calm, the back softens. Sleep returns gently. These are not miracles from outside. They are the natural response of a body finally freed to flow. The current was always there. It was waiting for you to remember it. This is the power of the three secrets joined together. They awaken the river within. And once that river flows, healing is no longer something you chase outside. It becomes something that rises inside you, steady and faithful. When the inner current begins to flow, healing no longer feels like a sudden event. It becomes a way of life, woven into your smallest choices and daily moments. This is where the path opens, not only to recover from illness, but to live in harmony with the body as a sacred trust. Healing becomes less about getting better and more about walking each day with balance, gratitude, and remembrance. Think of the mornings when you wake and rush into the noise of the world, checking your phone, hurrying your breakfast, ignoring the stiffness in your body. Contrast that with the mornings when you pause, stretch, whisper a small prayer, drink water slowly. The difference may seem small, but the effect is immense. One path begins with neglect. The other begins with honor. One clouds the mirror. The other polishes it so light can shine through. Ibn Arabi reminded us that even the smallest detail carries divine wisdom. To polish the mirror of the body is to polish the heart. Healing as a way of life means listening even when there is no crisis. It means resting before exhaustion becomes collapse. It means drinking water, not when you are already parched, but as an act of respect for the gift of your body. It means noticing when food leaves you light and clear, or when it leaves you heavy and clouded, and adjusting with gentleness. It means observing not only what you eat, but also what you think, what you watch, who you keep close, because the body listens to all of it. Have you ever noticed how certain people uplift you, leaving your chest open and your mind calm, and how others leave you drained, tight, restless? These too are signs. Healing as a path means choosing the company that nourishes and limiting the company that depletes. Just as spoiled food weakens the body, toxic words and harsh presences weaken the soul's vessel. Every choice is medicine or poison. There are countless stories of people who discovered strength not only through doctors, but through a change in the way they lived each day. A mother weakened by illness who began to sit each morning in silence, whispering gratitude for her breath, and slowly her energy returned. A man overwhelmed with stress who began to pause before every meal, placing his hand on his heart and saying quietly, "Thank you for carrying me." Over time, his headaches eased, his stomach calmed, his sleep deepened. Were these miracles? Or were they the body responding to remembrance, to love, to alignment with the flow it had long been waiting for? The truth is, Healing is not reserved for rare moments. It is available in every moment. Every sip of water, every breath of remembrance, every act of gratitude is part of the cure. The more you walk this path, the more you see that health is not a destination you reach, but a relationship you tend to daily. Just as a friendship grows stronger with small gestures, the relationship with your body grows stronger when you care for it consistently. Ask yourself, what is one small act of healing I can make part of my day? Can I drink water with awareness? Can I pause before work to breathe deeply? Can I forgive myself before sleep? These simple acts may not feel dramatic, but they accumulate. They soften the body, lighten the heart, and clear the mirror so the soul's light can shine through. This is the essence of living the path of healing. It is not about perfection or control, but about presence, about remembering that your body is not against you. It is for you, with you, serving you silently. And when you walk in harmony with it, honoring belief, emotion, and self-love, the inner current does not only return, it begins to overflow into every part of your life. This is how healing transforms from a secret into a way of being. And as you live this path, one question remains. What universal lesson can we carry from it, not just for ourselves, but for everyone walking this journey of life? So what have we discovered on this journey? The body is never silent. It speaks in whispers, in aches, in moments of fatigue. And behind those signs lie three secrets: belief, emotion, and self-love. When you align these, the inner current awakens, and healing begins, not from outside alone, but from within. Belief is the first secret. It shapes the decree your body follows each day. If you repeat despair, the body bends under it. If you repeat hope, the body begins to rise. Emotion is the second secret. When released, it softens the chest, clears the heart, and restores the flow. When denied, it settles as weight and grows into illness. And self-love is the third secret, the sunlight that allows everything else to flourish. Without love, belief and emotion remain fragile. With love, they become unshakable. Ibn Arabi reminded us that the body is not just a shell. It is a mirror of the soul, a vessel of the journey. To neglect it is to cloud the reflection. To honor it is to let the divine light shine through. Healing is not just about curing illness. It is about restoring harmony between body and spirit, between what is seen and what is unseen. Reflect for a moment. What is your body showing you right now? Is it whispering for rest, for forgiveness, for love? Have you been listening, or have you been silencing the signs? The real question is not whether your body can heal. It is whether you are willing to walk beside it as a companion, not as a master. Healing begins when you believe. Healing deepens when you release. Healing lasts when you love. Nothing is random. Every sign is an invitation. The question is, are you willing to accept it? Before you go, share your reflection. What is one sign your body has shown you that carried a deeper meaning? Your words may be the reminder someone else needs today. And if this message touched you, support this journey. Like this video, subscribe to Voice of Sufism, and click the bell so you never miss when we return with wisdom that speaks to your heart. This is not the end, but a doorway. Healing is not far. It is already within you, in your breath, in your pulse, in the quiet nearness of the real. Begin today with belief, with emotion, with love, and watch as your body remembers its own light.